In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to sell online courses using LinkedIn. So we're going to be hopping back and forth here between some notes that I put together and LinkedIn so you can see how all of this works in the real world. So let's hop over to our notes and let's dig into it. So in this video specifically, I'm going to show you exactly how to optimize your profile to get course buyers, the 3 types of content that you're going to post to get course buyers, plus the one thing that makes LinkedIn really unique that makes it amazing for selling online courses, even if you're a beginner and you've never sold a course before, or you've only made a few sales and you're really trying to kickstart your online course business. So let's dive into it. So first, let's talk about optimizing your profile. And I'll actually go through some of the notes here and then I'll show you what that looks like in real life. So number one, you want to make it so that when people visit your LinkedIn profile, they know exactly what you're about, right? So when you're creating online courses, you're creating what I call a transformation, right? You're creating a process that is going to allow people to achieve some goal, and they're going to transform from where they are now to where they're going to be after they go through your course by following those processes. Well, your LinkedIn profile is really that vehicle to get people into that course. So you want to make sure that when people land on your profile, they know exactly who you are, what you're about, what problem they solve, and how they can find your online course. So the way you're going to do that is you're going to do that through your banner. You're going to do that through your photo. You're going to do that through your headline on LinkedIn and your about section. So let's head over to LinkedIn and actually look what that might actually look like. All right, so on LinkedIn here, right from the homepage, and if I click on me up here, I can view my profile. And from here, guys, one thing that you'll notice is I have some information here, right? So in this particular instance, on this profile, it says, I help coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs experience explosive growth in just 90 days. And then I say, see the summary for more info. So I'm calling out the people that I help, coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs, and I help them do that in 90 days. All right, so this is that headline area. You want to make sure you put that in there. Now, I actually put some characters in just because it draws a little more attention. Now, if I wanted to, I could put a banner up here that gives more info, possibly has a link to my webinar or a link to the sales page of my course. And I got a profile photo just to make sure that it looks like a profile that's actually been lived in, that, you know, people are going to know that I'm a real person and not a spammer. And then if I scroll down here, in the About section, you'll see I have a lot more information. So these are the areas that you can optimize on your profile. So let's hop back over to our notes here. So for example, when you're doing this, guys, you're going to optimize your profile so that the bio link that you have in your About section is going to lead people to your webinar or your free lead magnet that gets people into the funnel for your course. So, all right, let's imagine it like this. You've used my process for creating a simple ebook where you offer a framework and you're giving that away for free, or maybe you have a webinar that talks about the process that you teach for 30, 45 minutes, possibly all the way up to an hour. That is kind of the webinar that frames people on the process that you teach. And then at the end of that webinar, you pitch your course. So in the About section of your LinkedIn profile, you know, you're telling people how you can help them. And then you say, hey, if you want to learn more about my process and how I can help you do that, right? So if you're teaching people how to lose weight, you know, it's, hey, if you want to learn more about my process and my diet program, go watch this video that talks about more, or go check out this free ebook that I created that talks about more. And from that link, when people click on that link, they're going to enter in their email address to get access to that video or access to that book, depending on how you set it up. And that's going to get people in the funnel. So they read your free book or they watch your webinar, and then at the end of it, it offers them your course. Now, the other key piece to that is now we've also captured them on an email list, so that way we can have an automated email campaign set up that's going to continue to promote our course. And as we create new content and new offers and things like that, it allows us to send them that information, continue warming up those leads, so the people that don't buy will potentially become customers in the future. So you can do this with a webinar funnel, you can do it with a lead magnet funnel, you can do it with a book funnel, and I'll actually diagram that out as we go through this. But the key is that all of this is funneling people in as leads to people that will buy your course. All right, so let's whiteboard this out a little bit, what it looks like, right? So here you have your LinkedIn profile, right? So you got your banner up here, you got your profile here, you got your headline text here, some other things that are on LinkedIn here. And then down here you have your about section that has all that info. And most importantly, we'll do this, and you have a link here. Imagine this being a hyperlink that links to your page. It's either going to have your lead magnet, your free ebook, or your webinar, right? So imagine this page is a webinar. So we'll make it look like they're going to get access to a webinar or a free video. And we're going to have a headline up here, video image here. So put a little play button there. And we'll put a little button so that they can click on this to get access, right? So this would say, watch the free training now. They click on this, and when they do that, a little pop-up comes up on that same page and asks them to enter their name, their email address, and then there's a button down at the bottom that they click on to submit that info. And from there, that takes them to a page that would have that free video on it, right? So this would be a pretty blank page, not much to it, right? Other than the video. Now, as they're watching that video, it's talking about your process. So let's say your course, it has a 7-step process that you teach and it transforms people. So for example, maybe you help video creators create really high quality videos that gets leads. So that's what your training is all about. For example, let's say that's what you have a course on. Well, in your video here, you would talk about from a high level what your process is and what that 7-step process is. And then at the end of this, a button would pop up on this page as you go into the offer. So at the end of this, you would say something along the lines like, hey, if you enjoyed this process and what I've taught you here today, I would like to invite you to check out my online course where I go in depth on this 7-step process and I show you step by step all the things that you learned today. So if you would like my help and want to learn more and how you can go deep onto my process, so how you can get more leads with video, then click on the link below this video to check out my course that goes really in depth on this entire process. And they click on this link and that takes them to the sales page of your course, right? So you got your headline at the top, maybe you have a video sales letter up here, all right? You have your bio image, you have all your content, and most importantly at the bottom, you got a buy button where they can buy your course, right? So all of this is funneled through LinkedIn. And now let's talk about how that actually works. So the way you do that is with content. So now that you have your profile optimized, which we learned in the first step, now you focus on creating content that's going to drive people into that funnel. So there's a lot of different types of content that you can create. On this channel, I talk a lot about micro lessons, right? So you may have a 7-step process. Well, within those 7 steps, you probably have all kinds of different things that you teach. Well, you could pull out one of those things every single day and create a micro lesson on it. Pick one piece of something that you're going to go deep on. So if we go back to my creating video example for leads, you might create a micro lesson that is how to write great headlines for your videos, or how to write great titles for your videos that gets leads, or how to write great titles for your videos that get clicks. Or you might create a micro content lesson that is the one trick to edit your videos faster. So each day you're putting a piece of content out there. Now it doesn't have to be every day, but the more that you put out there, the more opportunities you get to build your following and push people into that funnel that we talked about. The other one is overviews. So overviews of your system. So you might just talk about for 5 minutes what your system is, or you might go 5 minutes on one of the steps in your process, or you might go 5 minutes that's pretty in depth on one of the topics you teach at a deep level. But think of it as an overview. You're giving people the what and you're giving people the why. And then in your online course, you're teaching the how, right? Another piece of content that you can create on your LinkedIn profile is demonstrate using some of your tactics, your systems and techniques, right? So you might create a tutorial video on how you edit some of your videos. You might create a tutorial video on how you come up with really good titles, if I'm using that same example. But you would demonstrate using some of the techniques and the systems and things that you teach inside of your course. And then the other thing, guys, is updates and changes to your program. So as you update your online course, think about this as like news. You're posting news. Hey, we just added a new module about this, or hey, we just added a new video about X, or hey, a lot of people were asking how to do this, or a lot of people wanted more information on doing this, and we just added that to our program. Make sure you check it out. So passive mentions so that people are aware that you have a course. And all along, guys, in these content pieces, you're passively mentioning your funnel links. So at the end of each video or each post that you put on LinkedIn, you're saying, by the way, I have a link in my description if you want to learn my 7-step process for XYZ or my 10-step process for XYZ, make sure you check that out. So we're passively mentioning it, making sure that every time somebody watches content on our profile, they know where to go to find out more, which when they go to that page leads them into our online course funnel. And then if you're running any type of promotions, like maybe you're running a bonus for a specific holiday, or you're just running a special promotion, like maybe 1 month you run a promotion where people get free templates if they join for something. And maybe you're running a special discount or things like that. Anytime you offer any type of bonuses or special offers, you want to make sure you put posts out about that. And I recommend at least doing this once every quarter, possibly once every month, if you can keep it unique and come up with cool offers and cool bonuses to consistently give you reasons to talk about your course on your profile. All right, so if we head back over here to our profile, we go back to our homepage, we would be creating new posts. So you can see I have the option to add a photo, add videos, or just start writing an article. And I could go in there and start creating this. So let's just make one up here. 5 tips for creating better video headlines that get clicks. So I would go through here and I would just type 1. Come up with at least 3 titles before you ever post. 2, view popular channels in your niche and see what videos have the most views and what you can learn from their titles. And I'm not going to finish this, but you would go through that, right? And then at the end of it, if I'm doing a text post, I might say, if you want to know more about my 7-step process for turning online video into leads and sales, go to www. blah, 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 right? Or if I'm doing this as a video, I might say, make sure you click the link in my about section to learn more. So I might say, if you want to know more about my 7-step process for turning online video into leads and sales, check out the link in my About section where you can get my complete 7-step process. Or I might buy a domain that's specific for my free video, that is leadswithvideos.com. So when I'm doing my video that I put out there on LinkedIn, I'm saying, if you want to know more about my 7-step process for turning online video into leads and sales, go to www.leadswithvideo.com. Right? And then all I got to do, guys, is I post that. And that brings us to the last and one of the most important things about this video, guys. And that is LinkedIn is very unique. It's very different from a lot of other social media platforms because with LinkedIn, you can actively bring prospects into your world. So what do I mean by that? Well, guys, what I mean by that is most other platforms, you put out content and you wait for the audience to find you off of some type of algorithm. So you post on Facebook, or you post a video on YouTube, or you post a video on TikTok, or wherever you post your content, an algorithm picks it up and distributes that content, and then it finds people for you and visitors come to you. Now, that's awesome. I love that about social media. But one of the cool things about LinkedIn, and this is especially powerful for beginners, when you first start creating content on a lot of the other platforms, the algorithm's going to take some time to pick you up and before it starts distributing your content out there to the world. Well, LinkedIn, you have the ability to go out there and make connections with people that are specific to your niche. And once you connect with them, now you can start interacting with them, and now they can start reading your content. So one of the things you'll see in LinkedIn, as you connect with people, you'll start seeing that people look at your profile. It'll even tell you, whether someone looked at your profile. And guys, that is why in the very first step, we made sure that we optimized our profile to get people into our course funnel, because people are going to be looking at your profile, checking you out, seeing what you're all about, if you're the real deal, all that kind of stuff. So you got to optimize that profile first. And the other cool part is you can even start the conversation. Now, I'm not a big fan of doing it this way, just it's not my style of how I like to promote things, but once people connect with you, you have the opportunity to go out there and make connections, start talking to people, and you can even promote your course through those connections. Now, what I like to do instead of directly reaching out to people and promoting anything to them, I just start a conversation with them. Hey, I see you're a coach. Hey, I see you're an entrepreneur. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. And I start building that relationship. And as I start building that relationship, naturally, they want to find out more about me. They'll ask me questions. They'll come to my profile. And when they come to my profile, boom, that is how they get into the funnel. So if there's someone that wants to learn whatever it is that I teach, that is how they'll get into my funnel. And oftentimes, just by connecting with people and talking to people, asking them about what they do, they'll often ask you, well, hey, what do you do? Oh, well, I teach entrepreneurs how to build an online business with online courses. Or, hey, I teach entrepreneurs how to get leads with video. Or, hey, I teach people how to lose weight with my 6-step system, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then they might say, oh, well, where can I find more information about that? And boom, that's when you send them to your webinar or your free video, your free lead magnet, whatever the case is. And that, guys, that is how you sell online courses with LinkedIn. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.